to see your daughter.
That's traumatizing for him.
Trauma. You talking about her emotion?
His emotion.
That's his baby.
Like,
what's up, y'all? Sibling Vibes Podcast. We back at it again. I am your host, Mount C, along with the beautiful host,
Lady T.
And as usual, we have some special guests in the building, some familiar faces. Of course, we have
Big Bruh Production.
And some faces off the camera that you've heard before. We have Rashida behind the camera.
Yeah.
We also have Malia behind the camera.
Yeah.
And we also have Jaden and Damien for the first time ever behind the camera.
So if you hear some gaming terms, just know
what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
all right, y'all. Yeah. So basically, on this sit and chat episode, we're gonna be talking about, in my opinion, a very disturbing video that has viraled the internet. And basically, it shows a father beating the crap out of his 12-year-old daughter for allegedly catching her having sex, okay? So I want you guys to take a look at this video. Quick disclaimer, like I said, there is some strong language in this video, and of course, some harsh action as well.
You fucking now? Huh?
No!
Fuck you will. You wanna be a hoe? Huh? Huh? You wanna be a hoe?
No!
You wanna be a
No!
Huh?
No!
You still want some
No!
dick? Huh? No the fuck you don't. Get your ass in that bed. Get the fuck in the bed.
So you guys just saw that?
Yep. What do we
What do y'all think? That was...
She got what she deserved.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
She made an adult decision, and she received adult punishment.
But that's not
Is that
adult.
really adult
Yeah,
punishment?
because ain't nobody whooping adults.
If you go to
No,
jail
you
right
go to
now, you
jail.
get beat up in jail.
Oh yeah.
It's part of going to jail, right?
I mean...
I think this one thing is, I think it's the punishment that the parent felt she needed for their household, because the opposite would have been she kept having sex, got pregnant, and then now you have a child raising a child.
Or you have abortion, or you have...
It's illegal in Georgia.
Or you have adoption. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so how you gonna have right?
Abortions are not too much of an option
Well,
anymore.
not only that, they cost money. So now the parents don't have to pay because she's not paying money.
She's
The parents
12.
don't have to pay money for.
Well, then she's gonna have to figure it out, like for real.
A 12-year-old?
Yeah. So what you gonna do? You gonna have to give the baby away.
No, that is what you do. You whoop her butt so she don't do it like a kid. Like that's what you do.
I just don't think that that's gonna stop someone.
It's not.
So y'all saying that sitting down and having a conversation would stop it too?
Well,
It's
here's
a possibility.
right.
So
because
is
here's
it a
the
possibility that whooping could stop her too?
I would bank her more. I would bank more on
Thing.
whooping.
Well, see, here's the thing.
It depends on the type of child you are.
It does.
That
It
does,
depends on the
yeah.
type of child you are, but it also depends on the type of child you were raised to be, I think. Because I think if that father was doing, or any parent, if they were doing what they needed to do as a parent, she wouldn't be 12 having sex.
No.
So
That's
is it
what
the
I think.
age or the fact that, so if she was 18 having sex, it'd been different?
It would have been
Absolutely.
different, yeah.
Why? But if the
Because-
parent is raising you to live in a Christian household, then it shouldn't have been until marriage, right?
Well, it's not even about the religion. It's just about the moral of
But
it.
that'd be the moral if you're religious, right?
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have. I mean, people who are not religious have moral values.
Right. But
Yeah.
part of your moral values come from your religion.
I mean, part of it, yeah.
So what I'm
But-
saying is, it doesn't matter whether the parents raised her the right way or not. There's still a possibility that she would have did wrong.
I mean, of course, yeah, there's always that possibility. But
So-
what I'm saying is, here's the thing, because obviously we all know 12 years old, you're an adolescent, okay? Your body is going through changes. You have so many different hormones that you're not even aware of. So it's like, it's perfectly normal for her to be curious, especially if her and her friends are having those types of conversations, or they're seeing things on Instagram or on TV. You know what I'm saying? Right, music videos. So it's perfectly normal for her to want to experiment. However, that's the job of the parent. You know, when your child becomes an adolescent, I need to talk to them about these hormones that they're feeling. I need to talk to them about, you know, what it means to be sexually active, and what is it, and what it's going to do to my body, what it's going to do to my mental.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Had all those conversations?
Yeah, what if you already did that? Because just because the parent talks to the child still has a choice to do things outside of the parents.
We're assuming that he didn't have that conversation.
We are assuming, but guess why I'm assuming? Because of the way he spoke to her while whooping her.
Yeah, you want to be a
hoe.
A hoe.
Yeah.
Guys, are we being serious? Like,
Yeah.
when your parents are mad, what?
Bruh, you know how many times mommy whooped me? Mommy never called me out my name while she was whipping me.
That was
And there's what? She called you something?
All the time when you get in trouble,
They've been mad and said, I can't recall what, but they've been mad and said stuff, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've been mad and said stuff, but you have to understand, there are people calling their kids the B word. Like I said,
That's so true.
But he said
Yeah.
you want to act like a hoe.
no, he said,
You want to be a hoe.
He said you asked her a question. Do you want to be a hoe?
and then he said, do you want some dick? Are you serious?
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did say
I hear
that. He was
that.
like, you want some dick? You want
Oh,
some
no.
dick?
Did he say that?
I think he
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, but that still doesn't take away the fact that he probably still had those conversations.
Yeah.
At the same
What
time.
leads you to
Yeah, I
believe?
was gonna say he probably did it.
But why
Right.
not? Why do you think he didn't?
Yeah, I don't get why.
What's making you think that he didn't have those type of conversations?
I just, first of all, a lot of parents don't.
But there you go.
Okay.
A lot of parents
Especially at
don't.
12.
But
to begin with.
But then sometimes some parents don't go in depth, but some of them are just
But
like,
some parents
you're not
are
having
really
sex
in
till you're
depth.
18. And
Yeah.
that's that.
Okay, but do you think
That's
that's
not a
effective?
conversation.
Yeah, that's
But
not. There you go.
But it
It's not
doesn't
a
matter. When
conversation.
your parent tells you not to do something, you're not to do
But
it.
that's unrealistic.
Exactly.
So, but then
But that's
y'all
what we
just
expect as
discrediting
parents.
y'all point.
No,
If you're
it's-
saying that's unrealistic.
No, it's not.
So even if you explain, you just said it's
Because you
unrealistic
need
to
to
listen to
have a
your parents.
conversation, not just don't do that.
Right.
You know when you were younger and your parents said, don't touch that. You touched it.
Right.
But what happened? You got disciplined. The same thing.
But here's the thing though,
Or-
it doesn't matter if a child is curious enough, they're gonna take the chance, right?
But if
This
you had the
whooping,
conversation,
but no,
ahead
even
of
if
time.
even with the conversation, it doesn't necessarily
But she
matter.
probably would have thought more about it.
She
'Cause
probably
you-
thought hard before she
No,
actually did
at
it.
12 years old, you're not thinking hard. Like, thinking hard.
But y'all
like,
assuming-
because you have to understand, like, a conversation is about, like, okay, you do realize if you do this, you could end up with herpes. You could end up with gonorrhea. You know what I mean? All kinds of STDs. You could end up with a
That's the
baby.
easiest conversation to have because you're telling the extreme part about it.
Right.
But
right?
but
But on the other side, this child is also being exposed to that there's a pleasure with this too. So she's gonna, even though you hear something is bad, you still know that
But
there's
that's why you
something.
don't lie about the pleasure part.
But
There you
there's
go.
not. But you don't want to. And when you're explaining something to a child, you're not going to say that it's good. Like
But why not?
because then that defeats the purpose.
no, it doesn't, because you're not supposed to. The consequence or the conversation is not supposed to be based around fear.
Right.
Like Rashida said, it's supposed to be based around responsibility and and the meaning of it. Like, people seem to feel like sex is just an act, but there isn't a meaning, and especially for, I would say especially for kids, because if you're 12, you are feeling something. I don't care if it is just some boy that you're like, oh, I was pressured. Like, you deep
I
down,
think if you're 12,
you want that
I think
boy.
if you're 12, it actually
yeah.
means a whole lot less.
No, it doesn't. It
probably
means
actually
more.
I'm pretty sure it means a whole lot less.
Because
For
they're
a
like,
girl, probably. More for a girl, less for a girl.
Yeah, at 12 years old, if you're allowing a guy to have sex with you,
right.
you're like really probably in love with him.
Yeah, for the
Right,
girl,
you feel like
probably,
you're in love with him.
the girl is
Yeah.
probably more emotionally attached than the guy
Yeah.
than the boy is. But I mean, even if you had that conversation,
But even
there's still nothing to say that the girl or boy wouldn't still have sex.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, of course, there's
You
no
can't,
guarantee.
but you can't say
that whooping doesn't guarantee. She
no,
might
nothing
ate that
guarantees.
whooping
But
up.
here's the thing, though: it's just the parent did what he felt was necessary.
So he felt it necessary to record it and put it on
Now that's the
social
part.
media.
Now the recording
yeah.
part is like, okay, what are you trying to get at?
Yeah.
Right. The
Yeah.
recording
That
part,
is,
I was kind
you
of
know,
like, okay, why are you recording and put it
Yeah,
on
and that
social
makes it look
media?
dumb. Like, because I think he's trying to embarrass her
Yeah.
out of doing that. I mean, which is probably not the right way of doing it anyways.
And actually,
but
a lot of people do. I see that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people are
social
doing
media. A lot of
that.
people do the whole embarrassment
And,
route,
and for what?
which
Because that
for
makes
some
it
kids
worse.
might work.
yeah, we don't know if what his punishment.
So yeah,
It's
let
according
me tarnish
towards-
my relationship with my child to prove a point.
Right.
But how do you know? Well, you can. How's that tarnishing?
Because you have to understand, especially if it, I mean, for one, the video has gone viral, which means for either her friends or people at her school have seen it, or her parent, or the children's parents have seen it, and they've said, oh, don't you know her? Look what
Yeah.
she did. You know what I mean? So it's like now she's got to hear that about that at school, and then all this bullying that she's receiving at school, you have to understand she's going to correlate that with her dad.
Right.
Because she's like, my dad did this to me.
Right.
He
It wouldn't
put
be any different
She
if
should
you call
correlate it
if,
to her action.
Yeah.
Okay, but
What
at
she
12,
did resulted in.
Yeah,
But,
what
but,
she
but,
did,
but y'all
my
keep
dad
saying
also
12, like 12 is
embarrassed me.
just, they don't know what they doing at
it's
12.
not that they don't know what they're doing, but it's like they don't. You gonna feel heartbroken. My dad made all these. It was because of
But
him
what
that
would
all
have
these
been
people
different
know.
if you was teaching, you called somebody's parent, and then they came to the school and did the same thing. It's still in front of your whole class. And then the classmates gonna tell everybody in the school, oh, what's his name? Dad came up there and
Right.
slapped him upside the head.
Yeah,
it's no
it's still
different. You still
embarrassing.
embarrassed, but you gonna get over it.
I don't know. Social
But see,
media.
and the way I view it is those extremes sometimes leads kids not to do certain actions because you don't want to be embarrassed and you don't want to get hit. So if you don't want those two things, you
don't
tend
do it.
not to want to do them
I
again.
get it, but then here's another aspect. Especially when it comes to sex, you don't want to also make that something that's shameful to do. You see what I'm saying?
No,
because
it's not. It's not.
or
it's-
not
it's-
shameful, but like bad. You don't want to
Well,
make
it is. It is for her age. That's the part.
Yeah.
If you're under 18, it's bad to do. You're not.
But
you
like,
can't do
but
it.
like now, because there are
But right.
women who used to get married at 12.
But right. But we're talking about like currently.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
at 12, she shouldn't be having sex. Like
Against the law. It's illegal.
yeah.
A child
Even
cannot.
if- even
a
if-
child cannot
Even if it's
consent.
another 12 year
Even
old.
A
if-
child cannot
Yeah.
consent to having
Yeah.
sex at a certain age.
And
Under
more likely-
17 in the state of Georgia, you cannot consent to having sex.
And guess what? More likely, the boy would face
Even if it's
prosecution.
another-
Even if it's the same age, a
Yeah.
child cannot consent.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so what does that mean? Like,
Meaning that
because-
you don't have the choice to have sex.
Right. And more likely, the boy would go to jail, not the
Yes.
girl.
the 12-year-old?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because it's going to be the assumption that he.
Oh, I see what you're
You know what I'm
saying.
saying? So
Yeah.
it's a bad situation all around.
I mean, okay, I get it.
And
But-
hopefully, it was somebody of the same age.
I know,
If
yeah,
it's older,
hopefully, yeah.
then that's a whole
Different story, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I get it. It's just, I feel like there are better ways to parent than to do that. Now what you said, which was he felt like it was appropriate for his household, I get it. Because I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not even gonna speak it for anybody that's related to me to do something like that. However, if it was a child that I was like very close to and something like that happened and I was able to whoop, I most definitely would have whooped the child. You see what I'm saying? Well, for sure. You know what I mean? But it would not have been like, it wouldn't have been vulgar like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
So is it the
I
whooping
would've-
or the language?
well, because here's the thing. My best friend in high school got his girlfriend pregnant when we were in high school, right? And do you know what he told me his parents said? Because I was like, oh my God, you're having sex. Like, like I couldn't believe it. But he was like, my parents were so disappointed in me. And when I tell you, he was heartbroken. Like, he felt like He told me he
Well,
felt
he-
like he didn't want to have sex ever again.
Well, that's two different things. One, he didn't get caught in the act. He had to tell him that she was pregnant. So
Right.
at that point, as his parent, it's like, what we gonna do? Beat him? It's already we didn't stop it.
I mean, yeah, but it don't matter. You
But that's
still would have gotten beat.
no, but that's- no, but that's a very good
If he
point.
comes to me and say,
Yeah.
I got this girl pregnant, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna waste my time beating.
That's a
her.
very
Now we
good
gonna have
point.
different No, now we have
That's a very good
Now
point.
I'm saying-
It's one thing, like apparently he saw her in the act,
Okay.
as
So-
opposed to just being told it happened.
Because that's
two
different.
different levels
That's
of
really
emotion
different.
for a parent.
Because for me, I'm like,
if I'm
yes,
seeing my
in my face,
like,
yeah,
it's
especially in your
over.
house, because now you feel disrespected.
Yeah.
You know, it's different.
Okay, so then that goes back to what Ty said. Shout out to Ty. But remember when he was like, he doesn't believe in whoopings because he feels like you're taking your anger and your frustration out of on the child instead of actually delivering a consequence.
Right, and I said usually when your child will get like a spank from me is when you disrespect me. That's
Yeah.
typically it. If you lie, I'm not really gonna give you a spank for lying.
Well, that's disrespectful to lie.
Well, but they're just gonna find out a better way not to lie if you spank them. Instead of being like, why are you lying? Like, tell me what. Like, I'll have the conversation with you
Oh, okay.
about lying.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But if you go out your way to disrespect, like that's
Yeah.
different. If I tell you, hey, you can't.
But
don't-
that's not. But what if the child doesn't see that as going out my way to disrespect? Because what if they're like, this is the safest place I could have sex?
That's true too.
You know what I mean? Like,
But-
because that's like when some parents, choose to drink with their kids. They're like, at least they're in my
Yeah, with
presence.
me,
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's the parent.
illegal, though.
But that's the parent.
that is illegal.
That's the parent okay in the situation.
Yeah, like
He
you're
didn't
saying.
okay that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they're saying it's okay to
He
drink.
didn't okay the whole.
But yeah, but
because
if a kid comes up and tells you that he got a girl pregnant, that's like at that point it's just like, so
But
what,
to
you, what
me,
you gonna do?
I never forgot that because it made me feel like he was more upset with the action that he did because his parents were disappointed and not because he received a physical consequence. Like they didn't beat him.
Yeah, see, but
You see what I'm
I
saying?
wouldn't have done either in that situation either. I would have been like, dang. I would have been like, you really messed up.
But that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
that's
But,
what
I'm saying.
but what I'm saying goes back to Rashida's point where she was like, do you think that beating is going to stop her from doing it? It's probably not.
In that
Do you
situation,
think-
maybe.
But
I think it will.
but are you serious? But do you think if her dad, because you have to understand, girls and their dads have a very
Right,
different
yeah.
type of relationship. You think if her dad would have expressed to her how disappointing and like how it hurt his heart to allegedly catch his daughter in that type of act that young, you don't think she would have carried that with her, like in her heart?
Possibly
I mean,
too. But what is the
possibly.
first
Yeah.
time she ever got spanked by her dad? You don't think that, like, dang, like he ain't never.
Then now she probably hate him more because this is the first
But-
time and you put it on the internet.
No,
Yeah,
no,
but
no.
then
But
she
wait.
should- then she
But
should
then she should realize that
your
I really
action
messed
caused
up.
that, yeah.
Because my
Your
dad
action-
never has ever even
Yeah.
got angry with me like that before.
and my
Yeah.
action
And then my
caused
actions
that to
caused
happen.
that. Like, I mean, here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. As long it was with the belt, and it was hard enough, she was getting
Oh,
spanked. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
Yeah.
I think that the actions and the punishment was appropriate. It wasn't as excessive to me. Like maybe some of the language could have been changed a little
Yeah.
bit.
Right.
So it's because
But-
of the act. So this particular whooping, had it had been for something else, it wouldn't have been okay.
If it was for telling a lie,
Yeah,
then
that'd be
no,
excessive.
like that's too much.
I thought
like,
that'd
come
be
on,
way
like,
too excessive.
Yeah,
For just
like,
a lie.
Yeah, for like what you're doing.
Because
So the act
or
justifies the whooping.
in my
oh
opinion,
yeah,
yeah.
I think yeah. Because here's the thing, like, and truth be told, girls will probably get it worse than boys because
Yeah.
girls have more to lose. She could get pregnant, she has to carry a child, you got to be out of school. There's a lot more riding for a girl than there's a boy.
Right.
But and with him being and with her being his daughter, that it's like, and then supposedly he saw the. It's. I mean, can you
Yeah,
imagine?
it's the whole thing.
Yo,
It's like I'm yeah.
That's no.
Yeah.
As a father to see that, no.
It's
Like I can't
damaging.
even imagine like my sister.
Y'all worry about this girl being traumatized.
So, like, if you-
we don't do that over here.
I'm
so,
just saying to watch to see your daughter.
That's traumatizing for
that's
him.
You're talking about her emotion. His emotion is
emotion.
probably all
But
out
he's
of whack.
an adult.
No,
And that makes it worse.
His emotion is all out of whack.
Because
to
in
see
his mind, she's 12 years old. She just
that's his baby.
Like her, it's done
Her
for her. Like
innocence.
she's just,
yeah, like he's just like
Yeah, and that's his
He's
baby.
like, oh my God, she's about to be on the pole.
yeah.
And that's where the whole thing comes out. Because, it's just like this. it's a like instant like thought. Like, oh my God, you see this, and then it just quickly correlates
Then
to
the flood,
you know, like it's
those stops and then the floodgates open. It's like everything that you never wanted to imagine
it just comes all out.
start flowing. So
Oh
So
my
he needs
gosh.
counseling.
yeah.
He's gonna need counseling after this.
Oh, he needs counseling.
Yeah,
See, it would have been different if she would have came to me like, I'm pregnant. Then he could have given me, I'm so disappointed. But seeing it, how it happened,
Man.
oh Lord,
No.
it's like, come on.
No.
He's
But I mean, I think a combination of what we're all talking about is probably the most effective.
Right.
Because I
Yeah.
think she still needed the whooping,
Yeah, for
followed
sure.
up with
Right.
the conversation.
Definitely,
I-
and it's not gonna just.
Oh, no, yeah.
It has
Oh,
to be
right, it gotta be
several-
I think if he
Yeah.
was having several conversations about like sexual activities and all everything that comes with it, like y'all said, have the good and the bad with it. Prior, if there was multiple conversations,
Right.
I think this whooping is appropriate. But I think after this whooping, there has to be conversations too.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it just can't be.
It just can't be don't have sex.
Yeah, like
Right.
yeah.
Or
But
don't
maybe-
that's,
ever
that's
maybe
how
that's
a lot
what
of
it-
people
yeah.
parent though. Don't have sex. Okay,
Yeah.
why?
But yeah, you have to.
And maybe that's what it was before, and
It's
then
more to it.
yeah.
But the thing is, here's as a parent, I don't like kids asking me why. But so I realized that no, I don't. I realized that I have to go back and tell them why
Right.
I did it. Because don't ask me why. But I will go back and tell you why, and then we can have a conversation.
But then I think the older they get, they'll appreciate you
Yeah.
having that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But just don't ask me why. Not in the middle of it. But when I bring it,
Later on.
yeah, when I bring it up, then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But right now,
Okay, well, even though this wasn't in the video, what do y'all think about in his conversations with her? Like, let's say she had never had sex, right? And let's say he was talking to her about sex. Do you think he should or should not encourage masturbation?
I
Wait a
mean,
minute.
well, yeah.
Like,
Why?
where
Like,
did you go?
that's it. We're
Should he
talking sex.
encourage masturbate? The dad to his daughter?
Yes.
Oh no.
Come on.
Why not?
What?
What are we talking
That's
about?
the safest, healthiest sex you can
Not the
have.
dad.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
not
some
a
things,
dad-daughter
yeah.
But you have to
conversation.
understand, what if that's her only parent? What if the
Then you
mother's not
get
there?
a sister, you get an
Are you
aunt.
serious? No.
Yes.
Because he's
Yeah, this is
gonna
what I
want-
do. This is what
No,
I
It's
do.
the
hold
same
on,
thing.
because
It's the
what
same
if-
thing with like when
she
they have
needs-
their period. What is he gonna do?
Yeah.
She needs to be comfortable talking to her
no.
dad
Okay, here's the
about
thing.
those things.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna suggest
Yeah,
masturbation. I'd be like, listen, I would be very vague. I know women go through things. Sometimes y'all gotta do what you gotta do, and that's perfectly fine.
Bruh.
You know, and I'd be like, your sister.
I think there's certain
my sister.
things.
She can explain to you a little better because I don't really know nothing about that.
Yeah, there's certain things that's
You know what
gender
I mean?
to gender that those conversations have.
Yeah, like a menstrue's like a little
like
easier.
that.
Like
Yeah.
to me, like come on,
I
everyone
feel
goes
like
through
I'm
it.
gonna be like such an open parent. Like I would talk to them about it.
Yeah.
Talk to my boys about it.
Oh, you gonna talk? Oh.
About masturbation.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, they gonna
Because
run.
here's
They don't not want to
They're
talk
not
about a
wanna talk
woman
to-
about
yeah,
masturbation.
they're not gonna want to-
Grown men don't want to talk about masturbation. Like, what are we doing?
And I'm not
Like,
saying I can let them know, like, hey,
Like,
it
it's
is what it
okay.
is.
and it's going to
Yeah.
freak him out. Like,
Yeah, it really is.
like, what are you
It's-
like?
it's
He's
not
gonna
a
run
secret.
away.
Like,
Yeah, you know it's not a secret because you're gonna be finding all his stuff. But for him to hear you say that, he's
It's
gonna be
gonna be-
scared to touch himself after that.
Yes.
Like,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You mean you really would want Poppy to tell you about that?
it sounds good as an adult, but as a
Right, but as a
teenager or a
child,
child,
It just depends on how you start the conversation. You
Okay,
can make it not
How would you start? I want to hear it. Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, but I don't know how I would start it. But the reason why I brought it up was because at 12, and even whatever, let's just say under 18, I don't necessarily think that people want to have sex for like the how do I
It's
say
more
this?
peer pressure.
No. What I'm trying to say is I think they want to have sex purely to satisfy the urge that they're feeling, right? And what better way to alleviate that urge yourself?
right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But you're not
I
gonna
don't-
take that.
I don't know
No.
if it's
Yes,
the
it is
urge.
because
But it
imagine.
will.
Right.
No, but I'm saying I don't think it's urge. I think it's more peer pressure.
No. You
I
ain't
think
never been.
a
You
lot
ain't
of
never
kids-
been, bruh. You ain't never been
Peer
young
pressure,
and
but also
horny.
the urge too.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But most of the time, kids are doing it because they're pressured into it. Whether it be from friends, the
Because
person
people
that
are
they
just
with,
talking
because
about it.
just they hear people talking about it, and then they're like, oh, you still a virgin, and then blah blah.
Yeah.
Those items, those actions, those things really leads kids to have sex.
But see, the pressure, I think, is going to lead them to lie about it if they're not feeling, you see what I'm saying? Like, they're pressured, but like you said, they're also feeling the urge. Like, for me, well, not for me, but I was just saying, like, if you are just, when you alleviate that urge, like, you masturbated and boom, you got what you needed, you don't want to have sex.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's done. The urge is gone. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when you if you encourage that to a child, I wouldn't say to a child, I would say maybe about 15, 16.
Yeah.
Because honestly, for me, the goal is to prolong
Yeah.
the child having sex.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know about that.
I don't know if it'll work for boys.
But check your legal, because I don't know how legal that is. People telling your kids to so check with your state legislation. Disclaimer.
Legislature better not be trying to regulate that.
I was just saying, I don't.
Right, you're right.
You never know. That's all I need.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
For boys, I don't know if it's gonna really stop the urge. Like when you boys, your hormones are raging,
But that's what I'm saying. But
and it's at the most inconvenient times, anyways. Like you
so
couldn't do
just
it.
go to the bathroom.
Yeah, but
Man.
When you're at school, go to the bathroom. Boom, done. Because it ain't like,
I mean, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, because you couldn't have sex at school anyway.
right.
Yeah,
So,
you could.
yeah, I'm telling you, a lot of kids did.
Yeah.
oh
You
my
always knew
gosh.
that one class that was empty,
Yeah.
or this one
wow.
hallway, or under the bleachers,
You're right. The
and
classroom
whatever.
that's empty.
Janitors, yeah.
The janitor's closet.
When we had back at school I
That's
went
scary.
to, they used to
That's
build
scary.
trailers, and before they had class in them, I used to hear kids going in there all the time. They were always talking about it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, they were always talking about it. Before they started filling it up with kids. They were going into the, oh, for real.
They
I
were
wasn't in there.
talking
They were
about it.
talking about it. I don't know.
I just what I heard.
In Miss Sharon's class.
Right.
Team 4B.
Yeah.
I heard.
I never went there, but that's what they said.
That's the word on the streets. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I think the most important thing is just making sure you have a conversation so they're safe.
Yes,
They can at least
people
protect.
have conversations with your kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's not scary to have a conversation.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Like that old mentality where you don't want to talk to your kids about it. Talk to your children.
Right.
But
Because
is
it's gonna happen.
it a almost a double edge? If you have conversation about safe sex, does that encourage them to do it? Because they could just be like, oh, as long as I'm wearing a condom or being protected, I can go and have
But
it.
that's
that's
why
the
you show
I
the
think it's just-
other side as well.
It's like
Exactly,
getting
yeah.
insurance. In my opinion, like you hope that you never get in a car accident, but
But
the
then
chance
at
of it
least-
happening is going to
Yeah.
happen. So at least we got some type of coverage to take care of us
Right.
when it does happen.
Yeah, true.
Because like as much as we want
What
to
an
think that our kids are not going to do it, they're like going
They're
to do
going
it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like so, it's like
Yeah.
okay.
Eventually.
So let me put all this fear in you, but I know that the world is telling you that it's just this great amazing thing.
All right, y'all. So I guess basically to wrap it up, we are going to say, wrap it up. No, just kidding. No, we're just gonna say, as a parent, well, I'm not a parent, but those of you who are parents, like Rashida said, don't be scared to talk to your children. You know, like, don't make it a taboo thing. It's like, guys, it's just sex, right?
Somebody's
Right.
talking to
But-
them about it. Whether you're talking to them about it, somebody's talking to them about
Yeah,
it.
they're gonna learn.
Like, so you might as well just
There you
have
go.
a conversation too.
You might as well input your thoughts
Exactly.
while
'cause
everybody
somebody
else.
else gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you might as well.
But in doing so, make sure you tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
And make sure it's a well-rounded conversation. Don't be afraid to give some of your experiences. Of course, be appropriate in the way you say it. You know, you don't want to give them details, but like if
Right.
somebody broke your heart, and you gave your body to that person, like let them know how it made you feel.
Yes.
That's a part of the fear, you know, as you would say. So be sure to follow Sibling Vibes on all of our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Sibling Vibes. Don't forget to listen to us on iTunes. And hey, drop a comment in the comment section down below. Let us know what you think of this topic and if you feel like this was an appropriate punishment. Okay, if you want to hit me up on all my social medias, I am at Love, that's L-U-V, Lady TTV.
Yeah, and follow me on all social media platforms at MALC_C. That's my C.
Yeah,
Yeah, dig.
dig.
It's a vibe, so them vibes. We out.
Peace.
Yo. Oh. That's a vibe.